This is going to be the first video I upload, and before I jump in, I wanted to start with a quick disclaimer. So this video is not representative of what this channel is going to be about. My main plan for this channel is to document my homelab journey, for which I will make a proper introduction in the very next video. And I also wanted to work on my writing skills, speech and pronunciation, as English is not my native language. Alright, so this video will be about a DIY microphone. Back in 2021, DIY Perks posted a video about a microphone that he built that sounded as good as, and maybe even better than, a $400 mic. Now, if you're into DIY, you have probably heard of DIY Perks, but if you haven't, it's an awesome channel, and Matt, the creator, makes projects that are not only practical, but also genuinely beautiful. His microphone build is basically a piece of art, so I highly recommend you guys watch it. You can see it on your screen at the moment. As you can see, it looks beautiful and it also sounds great. Search YouTube for DIY Perks microphone and you will find it immediately. So I always wanted to recreate that microphone, but I kept postponing the project. Since the beginning, I knew that I was not going to recreate the stand, and my idea was to find a microphone housing for a cheap microphone with a 25mm capsule, so I could keep the housing but put my own, well, Matt's internals in it. A standard microphone that I could easily mount on to a microphone arm. While searching for the microphone or enclosures, I found a 25mm XLR condenser microphone on Amazon for 18 bucks. Link will be in the description, and you can also search for Zramo microphone and it will pop up. It is a working microphone, by the way. It's not just an enclosure, it's a working microphone, and you can connect it to an audio interface, which in my case is a Focusrite Scarlett Solo 4th generation. You are, by the way, currently listening to it. In my opinion, it's a perfectly fine microphone. I'm not a microphone expert, but to my ears it sounds fine. Now, I don't know how it's gonna sound, what I'm saying at the moment, but currently I'm sitting probably 1 foot away from it or 30 centimeters away from the microphone and speaking into it. Now, as condenser microphones, you're supposed to sit close to it and speak into it, but I don't know, I think it's gonna be fine. All right, so again, to me it sounds fine, especially for $18, considering that you also get this holder thingy, this pop filter, and etc. It all comes in this box. I'll put the box away. All right, so honestly, I would have kept using this microphone, but by the time I got the Scarlett Solo and listened to it, I had already ordered the DIY microphone parts, so I'm committed to the project. And one of the Amazon reviews said that it works good as a microphone housing for a DIY microphone. That, coupled with the fact that it comes with a 25mm capsule, and they say it as well, meant that it's a good choice, because the new capsule that I was going to order, which is already here, is also 25mm. Originally, I thought that I would recreate Matt's amplifier and make this a USB powered condenser mic, but the plans have changed. So I went to the JLI website, to the web page of this condenser capsule. Right, I was ready to order it, and I scrolled down and I noticed that they also offer capacitors, saddle mounting hardware, which is essentially screws with dampening O-rings, and OPA Alice single channel op amp. Right, so this awfully looked like a DIY microphone kit, and it is true, it is. So if you go into the op amps page, you will see a datasheet, I think it's this one, which essentially shows you how you can wire the capsule and the XLR socket into the amplifier board, and then where to attach these two capacitors, right? So this project quickly turned from fully DIY into a buy the parts and the amplifier board and solder the things in project. While Matt's project was a USB powered microphone, this one would require an audio interface, hence the Scarlett Solo, which I mentioned a bit earlier. But that's fine, because in my case, I have also plugged my headphone to the Scarlett Solo, and I connected Scarlett Solo into my monitor, which has a built-in KVM, which allows me to share my audio inputs and outputs with my two mini PCs. In my case, buying Scarlett Solo and keeping this as an XLR microphone makes sense, right? So original Matt's project is a USB powered microphone. This one is going to be XLR because I'm using the JLI components, all of them, right? Okay, here are the parts. Again, the capsule itself, the saddle, just in case. I also have the mounting thingies. Oh yeah, that here, mounting stuff, the amplifier board, and the capacitors. I'll now disassemble the microphone and start putting in the new stuff. What you are listening to at the moment and from now on has been recorded with the JLI kit after the project was completed. Now I made a mistake, and a few mistakes that I will explain, but the first one was how I recorded the audio for the first part of the video. The Zramo audio was captured with Mac's built-in screen recording app. The app probably compresses the audio and lowers the quality. To keep it fair, audio for this portion is also recorded with the same app, same distance, but I had to up the volume on Scarlett Solo just a little bit. What I noticed is that Zramo, in my opinion, captures more audio off angles and has higher volume with the same settings. For the first part of the video, I was talking towards my monitor. I would say 30 to 45 degree angle from the microphone. That's what I have been doing with the JLI so far. Now I'm speaking towards the microphone. The same distance, the same a bit increased volume, but towards the microphone. I think with JLI I'm better off with speaking towards the mic. I now have readjusted the microphone to be right in front of me, speaking directly into it from an, I would say, 5-inch distance with the pop filter on and even higher volume, I upped the volume by a lot. And I am now also recording with the video editing app itself. I don't know what the editing software will do with the audio, I'm just letting you guys know so you're aware of it. Alright, the microphone comes apart pretty easily. You pretty much twist or unscrew everything off. However, what you see me do on your screen at the moment is wrong, totally wrong. I'm trying to unscrew the screw that is fastening the XLR jack onto the microphone housing. I am operating under the usual righty-tighty lefty-loosey mindset and I'm struggling to get it out. I think, well, at that moment I thought that they fastened the screw too much and pushed the screw in too deep, but that's totally wrong. I will give up and continue with soldering while the jack is still mounted and only realize my mistake at the end. The white portion of the screw is actually not on the top, but it's a bit recessed downwards. So you're supposed to twist it in clockwise orientation to push the screw into the jack. Then the jack will slide out easily. When reassembling, you're supposed to, again, screw it all the way in, pull the jack back into the housing, and then twist it in anti-clockwise orientation. So righty in this case is to remove the jack from the housing and lefty is to fasten it to the housing. Okay, so first I unsoldered the wires from the original capsule, pushed it out and unscrewed the stock saddle. Then I put the rubber grommets on to the JLI saddle. The fat side goes towards the bottom, towards the housing, and checked the alignment with the 4 screw holes. Everything lined up, so the JLI saddle is actually compatible with this housing. I unscrewed the PCB from the housing and I unsoldered the capsule leads completely off. Here I'm looking at the board. The board actually says which wire goes to which XLR pin, and I marked the wires with a Sharpie just to make sure that I soldered them back in correctly onto the JLI amplifier board. Here I measured and cut the legs of both of the capacitors that go between the XLR pins, and you can check the correct wiring schematic from the datasheet on the Alice amplifier board page. Now this is where I ran into some trouble. Soldering the capacitors to XLR pins was a bit problematic for me, and I think this is due to multiple issues. The issue one is my soldering iron tip is too thin. It's great for microelectronics, but not great for soldering into big chunks of metal like the XLR pins. Issue number 2, I think, is that I'm using cheap solder that doesn't flow nicely. The issue 3 is I don't have a flux, and the fourth one is I think my soldering skills are not good. If you have any soldering tips for me, definitely drop them in the comments. I stopped recording actually at this point to focus on soldering these capacitors, but in the end everything worked out. It does look ugly. It does look ugly, and I was worrying about cold joints, but in the end it works. I cut out the part where I soldered the XLR wires to the Alice board because the camera focus was off, but it's irrelevant, it's just soldering 3 wires. I also soldered the capsule at first, but had to remove it because I forgot about the saddle. The saddle has a specific channel for routing the leads in, and as you can see it on the screen at the moment. Once that was fixed, I mounted everything using the included washers and screws. And just one note, you don't need to over tighten them. That's the whole point of like the rubber grommets for dampening. This is how it looks once everything is in place. I used a small piece of double-sided tape that I had lying around to attach the capsule onto the saddle. I put the grill on, screwed it in, and tried to assemble the rest of the microphone, but this is where I discovered the jack issue, XLR jack issue. It felt loose, so I tried to tighten it clockwise, only for it to slide out completely. So after a few minutes, I realized it's actually lefty-tighty and not righty-tighty. Thankfully nothing was damaged, so the XLR jack and the screw were all fine in the end. The rest of the assembly is easy, just one note. There is a ridge on the grill and a notch on the cylindrical thingy, so you need to align it correctly when you put it in. But once it's aligned, you're kinda done. Now my personal opinion is that the JLI kit has noticeably better audio quality, and I'm sure you guys can hear the difference as well. But Zramo, in my opinion, was a perfectly fine microphone as well, especially for $18. I hope you guys enjoyed this build and let me know what you think.